Hello again from my front porch. It is a dreary, overcast day here in Iowa on this Friday. On one hand, that's good because it helps the lighting for the front porch here. I don't have to worry about the sun beating in and baking me and blinding me from one direction, or the lines in the windows, across my face and things. But overcast skies also tend to bring precipitation, and that's exactly what has happened here. In fact, yesterday it was like 60 here in Iowa. Today it's only a balmy 37 degrees, and that's the high for the day. It's not getting any warmer. And this morning it was obviously even a little colder than that, and this precipitation was actually freezing rain. Yay! But even better, now it's just rain, because now it's warmed up to where it's just rain, but we're not done yet. Over the rest of the day and into tomorrow, we're supposed to get some of that crummy white stuff. That's right, snow is on its way. And the prediction is that here in the Des Moines area in Iowa, we're supposed to get upwards of half a foot, 6 inches. And so, yay again. That whole, Florida, huh? This is when that starts really kicking in. Yep. But it is what it is. If you're gonna live here in Iowa, you gotta roll with the punches and the snowballs. But hey, the reason that I wanted to chat about, or what was on my mind at least for today, it has to do with getting older, or actually more specifically, adapting to getting older. See, I know a lot of people who resist getting older. People say, oh yeah, a lot of women I know. Well, yeah, a lot of women, but there's some guys too. I think that's where the midlife crisis thing comes in too, is you get to a point where you suddenly recognize, you wake up one morning and you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, that's me. Oh, and then you feel this regret, or you feel like you haven't accomplished enough, or you feel whatever. And so then you have that midlife crisis thing. Now, my ex says that I had mine when I was 20. When I turned 20, that I was like, oh man, I can't believe I'm 20 now. I don't really remember that as vividly, but that's what she used to say. I don't know, take her word for it, I guess. But what I do know is when I turned 30, when I turned 40, and even when I turned 50, I didn't have any issues with it. And the reason I didn't have issues with it is for a couple reasons. One, I've always felt like I am best suited for the age I am right now. I know it sounds trite, but I genuinely feel that way. I feel like, okay, I have reached this point in my life. I'm this old at this point in my life. These things are supposed to go together. Right or wrong, that's the way my brain has interpreted that. And, a lot of people lament about the good old days. We've talked about that before. What they really lament is they liked it when they felt better about things, either more in control or more comforted or whatever. And they feel like they've lost that now, and they don't feel that now. And they wish they'd go back to when they felt that way, because reality is you wouldn't want to go back to those specific memories that are warm and fuzzy are surrounded by the other stuff that wasn't, and you'd have to relive all of that. And so people don't really want to go back. They just want to feel that way again. But myself, I feel like right now, today, I'm living my best days. And in general, I have always felt that. There have been some times, some pockets where I just shook my head and wondered, what am I doing with my life? What's going on here? But I can honestly say right now, this moment in time, I feel really good about life. I've got my job stuff is going great. The relationship is going great. My health is, it's going very well. I wouldn't say great, because I did put on a few COVID pounds, and that affected my A1C diabetes check. Not dramatically, but it did bump up some numbers. And so, I got to get that back under control and make that great again too. But in general, I feel pretty good about my life. And I understand not everybody does. I'm not trying to put anyone down. I'm just saying for myself personally, in my own perspective, 2 reasons I've never really struggled with growing older is, number one, I've always felt like, I'm suited for the time I am right now. And certainly right now, I feel very suited for where I am at this point in my life right now. But even beyond that, I also, in general, tend to adapt fairly well. Now, There's some things I don't like when it changes, not just because I don't like change. I'm okay with change in general. But if I don't understand why it changed, or I don't see that the benefit of the change is better than what it was prior to the change, then I might raise some complaint. I might have something to say about it. But other than that, I'm actually pretty okay with change and with trying something new and adapting to this new thing. More so in more recent years. In fact, it's been something I have pushed myself to be even more of that kind of person. And I believe I've been successful in that in many respects. But anyway, so those two things do that. Now, I have a really good tangible example of this. This is something that made me chuckle. And so I'm sharing with you. You may not get as big a chuckle out of it as I did, but so what? It's my show, and if you're watching, you have to endure it with me too. So anyway, I go out and about, and I wear contacts. First of all, I should say that, and I've worn contacts for a number of years. So I've had glasses since I was a freshman in high school, and then as I got older, I had to get the lineless bifocal ones. And then I got tired of wearing glasses all the time, especially when I wanted to drive and it was sunny, or go to an amusement park or whatever, and I didn't want to have glasses on. I wanted to just wear sunglasses, and so invested in contacts. And I've tried them a couple of different times over the years. The first time I wore them for a while, but then I stopped. They just weren't working as well. We couldn't afford them as well. But now I'm back to wearing them. I've been wearing them for several years here now again. However, as my eyes have gotten older, my contacts can no longer be more intermediate contacts. Now my contacts are really more just for distance. I can see some medium range stuff too, but it's really more for distance. So that means I want to do anything close up, I have to break out the cheaters. I have to break out the reading glasses. And initially, I bought more expensive ones from my eye doctor. The problem is when you drop them, lose them, sit on them, or they break, you cry a lot because of how much you spent for those. So instead, now I buy these at Walmart, and then I can get them like 3 in a pack for $10. And then they're basically disposable. They break, they get lost, they whatever. I don't worry about it. I just go grab another pair. And so I do that. So first I had to get comfortable with the idea that now I have to wear reading glasses, because that was I'm wearing contacts, but I still have to wear glasses. How is this an advantage? I'm still wearing glasses. How does that work? Well, I don't have to wear them all the time, just when I'm doing something close up. So, okay, deal with it, Paul. You can do this. But so then time went on, but I discovered that when I wore the reading glasses, I was wearing them like glasses. I was wearing them like this. And the reason I was doing that is because that was how I was used to wearing glasses. Plus, I had seen old people, who would wear them like this, down on the end of their nose, including my dad, and my mom does it as well. But that I would see them wearing them like this, and I'd be like, I am never wearing my glasses like that, because that makes you look old. That that Ben Franklin kind of look. No, that's when you're an old grandfather. That's when you're just you're playing Santa Claus in the mall. That's where you're going with that. But I have since discovered there is a method to that madness. You see, when I wear them like this, I can still look at you folks, but you're all a little bit blurry now because these are reading glasses. They're designed for me to see here, not way over there. So if I want to say I'm out to eat and I want to have a conversation, I want to read the menu and be able to have a conversation with Lisa sitting across the table from me, I wear them like this. And I do that so that I can look down and here's the menu, and I can look up and I'm looking across them at clearly whoever I'm talking to. Now, it's the thing on the end of the nose. And I started doing it. And you know what? I'm okay with it now. It's the way that I now wear it. In fact, sometimes I'll when we do Pokemoning, we'll be out, and I'll be on my phone running Pokemon stuff, and I'll forget I have them. We'll be having a conversation, I'll be talking, we'll be wearing, and I'll forget they're even there until we go to get a car, and I'm like, oh, I should probably. Now, one of the other issues that comes with this, though, then is Unless I want to walk around with them on my nose like that all the time, which I really don't want to do that. That defeats the purpose too. Then I have to still carry them with me somewhere, and so they go in the pocket. That's why I like dark shirts too. Then you can't really tell they're even there. But the problem is increasingly button-up shirts they're making without, I don't know what the deal is. Button-up shirts they're making without pockets, leaving me nowhere to put them. Plus Lisa is on a crusade for me to buy more casual shirts, meaning ones without buttons. She thinks I wear too many button-up shirts, and those don't have pockets on them either. So it's like, okay, well then what would I do with my reading glasses? Well, some people do this, and I could try that, except especially like right now after I've gotten a haircut, they just fall right off because there's absolutely nothing to give any resistance. There are people who get those chains hanging around their neck. No, I'm not there yet. Maybe someday, but I'm not there yet. And then there's those ones that I do think they're kind of cool, but I don't have any. I have the ones that, snap apart in the middle and then they hang around the neck from behind. Yeah, I don't have any of those either. Maybe someday. But still, so I've got this problem. I got these things. I got the glasses. I forgot what to do with them. I've taken sometimes to putting them in my coat pocket. Now that it's winter, we wear coats. But there's risk to that. They could get knocked out. They could get scratched up by my car keys. Whatever. And so it's not the best option, but it's the only option I have if I don't have a pocket that I can put stuff in. So, but I have to carry them. They're as necessary to me as one of these things are to everybody right now. See? We all have to carry these. We all have to wear when we go into some place. I have to have a mask with me. Well, I have to have these with me too, whether I have a pocket or not. And so I have to have those things with me. All right, there's your build-up. You're like, Paul, you took 12 minutes to build us up to this point. This better be worth it. Oh, I assure you it is. Lisa and I were in the store, and I saw these, and I was like, oh. Now, I knew these existed. It's not like I saw them for the first time. I was like, oh, I didn't know such thing. I knew they existed. I just never come across any in person where I had the opportunity to buy them. I'd even thought at times about looking online for some, but had just never gotten around to it. And so then suddenly here we are in the store, and I look over, and wowzer, there they are, right in front of me, and I literally got excited. This is the testimony to how I have adapted and how I have become more comfortable with my getting older. Because initially I resisted even wanting to wear the readers, and I've progressed up through this story I've just told you to the point that now I got excited by seeing these. Check that out, huh? Look at that. Collapsible, now they're a little bent on my face, but collapsible readers. They're completely plastic, durable plastic, so they're not going to break if they just fell on the ground. But they work really well. I've used them now. I've tested them and used them. They work great, and they're comfortable. I mean, they're a little loose. I wouldn't want to wear them for a long time, but they're not heavy. They're lightweight. And then when I'm done, fold them back up. And then go back into a much smaller pocket. I can even put these in my pants pocket. Now, I know it's a bit of a weird lump in your pants pocket, but it looks like my keys. So if I have my keys in one pocket and I put this on, I got a wallet in that pocket. Okay, well, I'll have to figure out what pants pocket they would go in. But still, the point being, these are a lot smaller to put somewhere than these. And so, if necessary, I have an option now to be much more portable to wearing those things. And again, it excited me. I was pleased with that fact. I was like, yay, this is a good thing. And then I sit back and I look at myself, out of body experience, and I look at myself and I go, oh, Paul, what happened to you? So there you go. There's the story of me, adapting, but also, of my foldable eyewear. Anyway, so that's hopefully that long-winded story gave you a little bit of a chuckle at the end as well. Well, since it is the Friday leading, what is the date today? The 11th, I think, December 11th. Since it's the Friday leading into like the 2-week stretch before Christmas, I guess that means I probably should go do some Christmas shopping. Seriously. So I guess I better go do that before that icky white stuff all starts to show up. I better get moving. All right, with that, I'll see y'all next time here on my front porch.